Hello, this is Dave Spicer Bees here in Whitefield, Maine. Run the store with my wife. We just showed you how to put a package in over there on drawn comb. This one's going to be on foundation. This is a 3-pound package from Rossman's. Those are the bees we carry. Rossman's is out of Georgia, Moultrie, Georgia. These are probably the finest Italians you can get. Super gentle. These are really nice bees. They take good care. Multi-generational company down there. Before you get your bees here, oops, just knocked them. They will be just fine. You want to make sure you've got everything all set. So we're putting this in a 10-frame setup. We don't run 8-frame equipment. We carry 8-frame equipment, but we don't run it. As you can tell, these are foundation sheets. This is what I mean by foundation. It's not drawn comb. This is last year's foundation from another hive that just never built it up. We were trying to push them. So those are extra sheets left over. So we're sticking them in this year. They're going to get them drawn out a couple of different ways. Put the queen in. You can either wedge them in between the frames, which I'll show you how to do that in a second when we pull her out. You have to push that over. I don't like the idea of pulling the frame out and leaving it out on the side because you're going to have to tack it. If you don't, there's enough slop in the frames that the weight of the bees can actually pull her to the ground. And we're going to be about 30 degrees tonight. Today is the 16th of April. It's about 42 at the moment. Wind's picking up. Sun just went behind the clouds. You don't really want to put packages in when it's bitter cold, but you know, at 40, 42, that's not bad. We would like it a little warmer, but you're just not going to get there today. You might get to 45 later today, 44. Top of a package comes with a piece of plywood with a couple staples in it. You want to save this piece of plywood, you're going to need it in a minute. So we've knocked most of the bees down. Could probably knock some more down. I didn't do that on the last one. I said, well, you didn't have to. You don't have to. You want to hold on to this. This little tab right here is holding on to the queen cage that's in there. If you drop that down into this package, you are going to have to reach your hand in and pick it up. So this can I'm taking out is a can of simple syrup, sugar syrup, that they put in here. As you can tell, the bees are already, you want to be nice and gentle when you do that. Shake off a few. Cover that up for a second. I'm going to put her right there. I'm going to take this, you just slide your cover over. Don't put that back down like that because you're going to kill all those bees on the flat surface. So you want to be easy with that. We'll get those in a minute. Put those over there. First thing you want to do is check to make sure the queen's in there alive. As you can tell, there she is. Classic Italian, running around like she's supposed to be. Really nice. These guys really want to build wax. They're already started. They've only been in this box probably 2 days. At the most 3 when they show up here. This showed up here about an hour ago. So, because we ship them in twice a year from Rossman's, April and May, so this is our April delivery. So, what I just did, I didn't explain that. I took the cork out. There is a cork right here on the candy end. It's with the white paper. Don't take the cork out of the other side. She hasn't been laying eggs for the last few days because she's been in the cage. That means that even though she's good size, she can still fly. You release this cork, she can take off. She doesn't know where home is yet. So, you take the cork off of the candy end, and you can look in, it's solid, there's white candy. Some people will poke a hole in that. All I do is just test the sugar. Yeah, it's soft. If it's soft, I don't bother poking a hole through there. If it's really hard, I'll poke a hole through. Make sure your queen's on the other side when you get the nail all the way through, because you could stab the queen inadvertently. Not a good practice. Alright, so with this, what I meant by, I like to use rim, but in this particular case, I'm going to show you how to actually put it in this, and then I'm going to put the rim back on it. I hate to say it because it's a whole lot easier to check the queen in the 3 days. You want to check these queens in 3 days, make sure they've gotten out. And in that process, when you do it, we're going to film that in 3 days. You don't go through the rest of the hive. You just make sure she's out. If she isn't out, judge by how much they've got to go, how much they've eaten out of the candy. We'll discuss that in 3 days. But what you'll do with this one is you either face her forward or face her back. So, and you have to wedge these frames. This is why I don't like to do this. because it's a tight process. And you'd put her all the way just like so. You'll leave her there for 3 days. The problem with this setup is sometimes, especially of bees like this, you see they've already started building wax everywhere. These bees really want to produce wax. They've been shaken out of their home. They want to build up a new home. They're already in the wax producing mode. They will probably, based on what I see already, have some comb potentially that they built inside this frames, because it's outside of bee space. You learn that in bee schools. For all you that took bee school, for anybody that didn't, read it up in books. It's in every book virtually about bee space. Anytime you're outside that, the bees are either going to fill it with propolis or they're going to fill it with wax. But they will fill it. So I don't really want her in like that. What I'll do is I'll put the frames back the way they're supposed to be. Suck them up tight here. Now, what we're going to do is actually I probably shouldn't have done that. I got ahead of myself. We're going to pull a couple of frames right out of the middle. So temporarily we'll leave her right there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually install your package of bees, or my package of bees in this case. So you want to give them a little thump, because you want them to go to the bottom of the box. Well, not on that one, because that's actually a live hive, so that wouldn't be a good idea. Just give them a little thump. Take your cover off, and then you're just going to dump them right in. You want to get as many as you can get, and don't be bashful about banging the hive on the ground like so, just to try to get them all congealed in one corner, just so you can pour the rest of those back out. It's going to be 28, 30 degrees tonight. Whatever you don't get out of this cage or find home by late this afternoon will most likely be dead by morning. So you do want to handle this. See, we probably got maybe a dozen. I don't know if there's quite 2 dozen there. So we'll put those like that. We will slide our frames back in. Nice and easy, because you've got a ton of bees down bottom. Actually, can you get a film of that? There's a lot of bees down bottom. So you want to be easy when you put the frames in. So the frames, I'm not putting any down pressure. They'll hit that ball of bees, and the bees will gently get out of the way. Yep, so we're good. Grab your hive tool, push your frames back together, suck them up the way they're supposed to be. We're going to put the queen right here in the middle. I like to have her facing forward, but I put her slightly off the middle because we use a top feeder. And when you use a top feeder, if you have it too bad, the bees will actually come up and potentially drown their sisters up in the sugar syrup. So we have a rim right here. And if you don't have a rim, that's fine. You can use a couple pieces of wood, just something for a couple, 3 days here, just to try to cover up the cage. You're going to need something about 1.25 inches to get over the top of that. Yeah, an inch, 1.25 inches on the shim. 2-inch shim is fine. We put our outer cover on. Now the bees are all in. We take our top feeder. We put that on. That covers up the hole. We'll fill this up later in about a half hour or so. Let the bees settle out. Anybody that's going to fly home, we let them fly home first, because we just don't want to drown them in the surf when we fill it up. You can have it filled up ahead of time and off to the side. You just have to be careful. Then we put our cover on top. Now our covers are extra deep. And then, well, this one has 2 rocks. I am going to steal the rock. That's all there is to it. We want to make sure our front entrance is open. Front entrance is open. You see all the bees right there. They're trying to figure out what's going on. If you look in the package, there isn't many bees left in the package. A couple up here in the corner. Not many at all. Queen's all in the cage. A few extra bees right here. They'll actually come home, so you can leave that right there. They will be able to scent. As you can tell, see this right down here? They're fanning. That's actually fanning a little bit there. So, and you can hear the activity. They're going to scent the queen. They'll fan it right out for the rest of the sisters to come home. And it's going to be warm enough here today that all these bees will be back in the hive here tonight. Other than that, I think that's pretty much about it. Of course, you can always talk about everything and forget something. But that's as simple as it is to put a package of bees in. Good luck, and I think you do well. Thank you.